Hi cosplayers, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Cosplay Vicar and today I am unboxing and having a fiddle with a cheap and nasty Holy Grail from Indiana Jones. Now in the summer I got to go to Disney and I picked myself up the Disney Holy Grail, which I have done a few little additions to. I've changed the look of it a little bit just so it fits more what I would want from a screen accurate Holy Grail. Now that was $60 and I don't really want to be carrying this around with me in my Indiana Jones bag. If I'm going to go to Comic-Con or an event like that as Indiana Jones, I don't want to take something that's $60 out with me just in case it gets damaged, and it is quite hefty. So I thought to myself, why don't I buy one of those really cheap and horrible Holy Grails that you find online and see if you can do a bit of an update on it and see if you can make it look a little bit more like what you would want a Holy Grail to look like. So that's exactly what I've got. Now this is £11 from Amazon and I'm not expecting a great deal at all with this. My expectation is it's going to be pretty poor and it's going to need a lot of work. So let's just open this up and have a look. It's from China, like a lot of the Indiana Jones replica knockoff stuff is. It takes weeks to arrive. There we go. Already, it's horrible. Oh, okay. So it's really horrible. Let's just get rid of this packaging for that. Now let's have a look. So, not saying the Disney one is correct at all. I think it's too big. If you look at Indy in the scenes, I think the Holy Grail is slightly narrower at the top. So inch-wise, this is just over 4.5 inches. Actually, that's less than I thought it was going to be. But it's 4.5 inches. I think, and I'd love to hear if you've got a Holy Grail that is screen accurate. I'm thinking it should be more like 4 inches. Now I should look on the replica prop forum and see what is on there. But that feels a bit too big. This is obviously even bigger, and this cup sits more like 5 inches. Oh yes, 5 inches across the top. I'd be really interested if you've got a Holy Grail. I would like to know how big your Holy Grail is. Size-wise, it's like they've squashed it and pulled it. It's all of its shapes for me are way off. They just look different, don't they? This has got a much stumpier base and much wider base. The actual footing of it is smaller, so it's wider at the top but smaller at the bottom. So there you go. What I want to do is see if I can do some work to this to make it look something more like that. So I can have this in my bag when I go doing my Indiana Jones at some point at a Comic-Con. We'll probably do a time lapse with this and we'll come back later in the end. I will let the camera just keep rolling, but what I want to do is see if I can make that look somewhat more like what I was expecting and hoping for this Holy Grail. One of the techniques that I wanted to try is this, where the paint is now half dry. I would say it's not fully dry, but I'm just putting tape on and pulling it off in the idea of removing some of the terracotta paint to reveal the gold underneath. Now what I'm doing here is I'm just putting the gold leaf on, but I'm not pulling it off. I'm letting it dry. Now what you're aiming to do here, now I mean, gold leafing is always an absolute blast, sticks to absolutely everything. But what you're essentially doing is you are creating those little gold moments that kind of come through on the idol using the glue. But I'm putting the gold leaf on, and then once the glue is dried, just with a cloth you can wipe and pull away all the gold leaf that is not stuck. So what we're able to do here is really create the shape of where we want the gold leaf to come through using the glue, and then later we'll pull away the gold leaf that's not glued on, and it should, in theory, give us that effect of the gold leaking through or breaking through. And if you look at the photographs of the idol, of the Holy Grail, it really is uneven. It's just random, utterly random. There's nothing, and this is one of the problems with the bought ones. They're too methodical, or it's just splodged on with a paintbrush, and it just looks absolute garbage. What's good is any bits that flake off and there's any glue that's not covered, it will. More than just attach. Just do some little flecks. See what happens if I was to. Let that dry. And see what that looks like in a little while. What I've got here now is some Fuller's Earth. So while it's still tacky, just gonna knock it back again. So one of the things with the Grail is you build up colour, you knock it back, build up colour, you knock it back. This is meant to be something that has sat in a cave for thousands of years, or yeah, well, 1,000 years. So what we're doing is kind of knocking it back, knocking it back. That is wicked. That I'm really happy with. I have to completely admit, I have really loved this update to a £11 garbage Chinese replica Holy Grail. So I had got my Disney one that I'd picked up in the summer that I was pleased with, but I was able to kind of take some of the things I'd learnt from that and move it over to this 11 quid. So when I go cosplaying, this is the Grail that I will take with me. It is not the right shape. It's definitely too wide at the top. I would love to know if you've bought a really cheap Grail on Amazon or eBay and it's one that has a better shape to it than this one. I would love you to put that in the comments for me, because I want to buy one, and I know there is one out there that looks a little bit more the right shape to this. It's not completely the right shape, but it's closer. I want to get a hold of that one, and it's not always easy on Amazon to know which one you're ordering, because you never get what you think you're ordering, which is really what happened with this. But what we have here is my finished kind of update. It's been sanded, it's been repainted, it's been gold leafed, it's been full earthed, and now it is finished. And I am really pleased with it. It's turned out well for something that cost me £11 and, you know, a kind of an afternoon and evening's work. So I'm really pleased with this. In fact, I would say I'm happier with how the paintwork has turned out on this one than I have with my Disney one. So I think I might go back and redo this one at a later date. I think the Fuller's Earth, I just used some resin powder from a previous 3D print that I sanded on this one. This I used the Fuller's Earth. I just think it works so much better. I'm really pleased with the way the Fuller's Earth turned out on that. So it's £11. Is it worth £11? Yes. Is it screen accurate? No. Do I care? Well, not for this, because it cost me 11 quid. I would be much more upset if this was further off than this one actually is at the moment. But I think for 11 quid, this is a bargain for a bit of cosplay. So if you're an Indiana Jones cosplayer, this actually could be the Grail for you. Unless you can help me track down one of the ones that is slightly closer to this one. But I'm really pleased with how this turned out. It looks old, it looks battered. It's got something going for it that's worth 11 quid. I know they're online for a little bit more as well, but I was able to pick this one up for £11. Have you got one for about the same price? I would love to hear from you. Friends, if you found this interesting, I'd love you to like this video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, tell me about your Grail. If you've made a video updating a Grail, could you just put that in the notes as well? Because I would love to see what you've done with your Grail. There's something really lovely about the Indiana Jones community, learning from each other and kind of modifying and making our own props. And I'm loving seeing what other people have come up with. So if you've done something similar like this, put it in the notes. I'd love to see it. But there you go. I would give this 4 out of 5, knowing it's not quite screen accurate, knowing it's not the right shape, but I think the paint job on it for me does what I want it to do. If you think there are any additions I could make, drop those in the notes as well. I would love to see them. But cosplayers, until next time, have great fun, and we'll catch up with you in another video soon.